feel? Dirty South, dirty, dirty. Can y'all really feel? I got the East Coast feel, West Coast feel. Dirty South, dirty, dirty. Can y'all really feel me? Feel it. East Coast feel. Say what?
Hey guys, it's me, Lydia Marie. Welcome back to my channel. Today, you guys, I am showing you how I get my flawless base makeup routine. That means my concealer, color corrector, powder, foundation, how I do it all to make my makeup look wearable, something I can wear every single day, something that doesn't take long to get, and something that is very flattering for mature skin. Oftentimes, as we get older, we hear that mature skin is more dry, so you can't do this, that, and the third, when actually that's a myth, because everybody's skincare is different. While I may have dry skin, you can totally have oily, acneic, oily, sensitive, dry, sensitive skin as you get into your 40s and beyond. But this makeup routine that I'm going to show you today is good for all skin types, and if you are over 40, I believe this is one of the more flattering routines that you can easily achieve to make your makeup look timeless and elegant, but still gorgeous and modern. So if you'd like to see how I got this flawless base makeup look, I hope that you will keep watching. Hi to my new subscribers, welcome to the channel. It's so many of y'all. I'm so happy to have y'all over here joining the beauty fam. But for now, let's go ahead and get into this flawless base makeup. So I always start by prepping my face. My skin prep is top priority. I'm using the Bobbi Brown Vitamin Enriched Face Base. I have already washed my face, cleansed it, put my toner, my serum on, but this is just a little bit of extra moisture, and I have some eye patches underneath here too, which are coming up, and I've had them on for a few minutes, so they're probably going to be lifting up soon, just for some hydration. I have dry skin, you guys know this. If you're not new here, I have dry skin, so I'm always making sure that before I apply any type of makeup, whether it's just concealer or whatever, that my skin is nice and moisturized. So I have this Bobbi Brown on. My eye patches are coming up. It's time to take those off. And I'm just going to tap in the rest of the serum that was on these Good Molecules eye patches. I'm just going to tap those in under my eye. My under eye is very, very dry. And I like to color correct and wear concealer. So I'm always making sure that before I do either of those things that my eye is hydrated, hence the eye patches. So I'm one of the people that like it. I always think of primer as if you're painting a wall. You're not just going to lay a coat of paint on a blank wall. Everything under that wall is just, under that paint is just going to show through. And that's how I look at primer. Primer is just that little tool that helps your makeup not only adhere to your face, but it acts as a barrier between your skin and makeup. So today I'm going to be using the e.l.f. Putty Primer. I like this one because it has a little pore filling properties, and I have large pores right here in this area, so I'm going to apply most of the primer right there and on my cheeks. As you can see, I do have dark circles and I have a little hyperpigmentation on my cheek. That is why I like to color correct when I do a full face of makeup. So I'm going to go in with my Bobbi Brown color corrector in the shade Deep Peach. Though this color corrector is full coverage, it is not drying at all. It's very smooth and just glides on flawlessly. I use a peach color corrector because my marks under my eyes and my acne scars, they are brown, and peach or orange color correctors always cancel out brown. I'm just going to take it around my mouth, and then I'm going to put it under my eye. Now, like I said, I have dry under eyes, right? So normally you wouldn't think a stick product would go under your eyes, especially when that's full coverage. But this one is so smooth that it really doesn't disturb my concealer or anything else or settle into my fine lines. And even with this type of color correction, I can go in with less concealer, which will cause less cakiness under my eye because the color correction is doing so much to eliminate any dark spots. For foundation, I'm using the MAC Studio Radiance foundation. I told you guys this is going to be my foundation for the month of March. I put a little bit on the back of my hand just to warm it up, and I'm going to use a dense blending brush. This is the number 37 from NYX. This brush is like $14. With foundation, you want to start slow and build up. Foundation is one of those things that you can put on a lot and it can look cakey, and especially if you're not going for a full coverage look. Like, I'm not really going for a full coverage, but I'm going for a full face today. So I'm using a foundation that is medium. You can tell it's light viscosity because it's a little bit runny. So with a foundation that has a little bit of runniness like this, or it's a little thin, I'm going to use a brush because this is going to pick up more product and it's going to help it adhere a little bit better to my skin and give me more coverage. I'm just going to pick that up and I'm just going to start tapping that in to my face. I love this foundation so much. And then I'm just going to start buffing it in a little bit. And I like to concentrate it where I feel like I need the most coverage, which for me is on my cheeks. And then I take the rest down to my neck and just start blending it in to the other areas of my face. And starting slow with your foundation allows you to add more product where you think you need it. If I had done like 3 or 4 pumps of this already, there would be nowhere for me to go, because you can add more, but it's very hard to start taking away product. And plus I'm going to be adding concealer and powder and things like that. So I'm just going to do like a little half a pump more on my hand, and I'm going to take it around here just a little bit on my right cheek where I feel like I need it just a little bit more. And this way the foundation won't look so caked on, but again, with a buildable foundation, you can take more and just kind of build it up as you need or as you see fit. Don't forget to blend your foundation back towards your hairline and down your neck so your complexion will be nice and even. And I'm just going to take what's left and go over my forehead back towards my hairline. For my concealer, I'm going to start using the Haus Labs concealer, and I'm going to take this because it's not super bright. I'm not going to do a bright under eye today. I'm just going to neutralize the shade that I already have, or the color under my eye. So I'm going to take this Haus Labs concealer and I'm just going to take it right here. This is closer to my skin tone than the actual brightening concealer, and I have my Tower 28 concealer as well. This is what I'm going to use to brighten. And I'm going to take my chin, brighten it on my chin. And I'm just going to take a little bit out here. Both of these concealers are coverage. They give good coverage, but they're super lightweight. And I'm just going to take that amount down and highlight the high points of my face. And I'm going to take a... Where's my other concealer brush? Here it is. I'm going to take a concealer brush like this one from Real Techniques, and this is what I'm going to use to blend out this concealer. I like to blend out the chin and upper lip and concealer on my nose while I let my under eye concealer set for a few minutes, because that's where I want the most coverage. This concealer here is just to highlight the high points of my face and give me a little, you know, little highlight before we contour. I love this Tower 28 concealer. Man, I always forget how good and smoothing it is every time I use it, and the color is just right for me, nice and bright. It just adds a nice bit of dimension to my face. And I like that I can wear this concealer without it turning into cakey. You know what I mean? Because I have texture. So if I put on too much makeup, it always just looks like, hey girl, you got on makeup. It's a way to do it. And you know, you just have to take your time and get it right. Take some practice, but I like to start slow and build my makeup up, so that it won't just get right into my fine lines, and I can just kind of go in layers. Ooh, that is so pretty. Okay, I'm going to start with the Haus Labs, and I'm just going to start to blend that where I have a little redness on the side of my nose, and I'm just tapping that in. I'm not moving it, tapping it in and kind of blending it down the side of my nose. Now with the brightening concealer, I'm going to tap it and go upwards in a lifted motion. I've shown you guys this, I believe, in my last video. And I just take the tip of the brush and just lightly brush that up. And let it meet my eyes. And get right up underneath there, nice and bright. And whatever's left on the brush, I just take it over my eyelids. Nice and bright, but not too overwhelming. You know what I mean? Just looks nice and natural. I love that Haus Labs concealer. Oh my goodness. That is very pretty. For setting powder, I'm going to use my usual, the Wet n Wild banana powder. This is the Wet n Wild Photo Focus banana powder. I'm taking only what is in this top, and that's what I'm going to use to set where I added that concealer. This powder is nice and bright, and it will complement the concealer very well, but it's also very finely milled, so it won't pile on. It just gives me a nice blurring effect to my under eye. You see? And I'm only taking a teeny tiny bit on this very dirty muff that I should have changed out before. I'm just going to take the tip of the powder and go like that. Boom! That looks so good. Nice and bright. Lots and lots of women over 40 do not like to use powder as their finishing powder. They feel like the setting powder is enough, and that is okay, especially if you have dry skin. I have dry skin. However, I still like to use a finishing powder on the areas of my face where I did not put the concealer, but I use a nice lightweight finishing powder like this one from Sephora. This is the Micro Smooth powder. It is very, very, very fine, very soft, and it does not settle into my fine lines at all. Feel free to skip this step. I don't. I just feel like it gives my face a very nice airbrushed finished look. And I just take a little bit and put it where I did not have the concealer. So I wouldn't go under my eyes, but I would go on my forehead, down my nose, and kind of just around the perimeter of my face. This is also a very good step if you are oily or combination. I tend to get oily right here, so I'm going to put a little bit right there, just whatever's still on the brush. But if you are oily, consider adding a finishing powder after you have done your concealer and foundation. This will help to set the makeup into place and control any shine. After I do the powders, I do go in and give my face a spritz with a setting spray. And I went in and did the setting spray also after I blended out my concealer. I sprayed my face before I did my setting powder. And now that I have my finishing powder on, I gave my face another spritz. So we're going to move on to contour and bronzing. And here is my Fenty stick that I was looking for. This is in the shade Mocha. And I'm going to use this to do a little bit of contouring. And I am going to get a clean brush. Okay, I'm going to use a brush like this. Nope, wrong brush. I'm going to use a flat brush like this with a little density to it. And I'm going to take it like so on the brush. And I'm going to take a little bit on my hand so I won't be too overwhelmed. Your contour or your bronzer, contour I should say, is going to start right here, the top of your earlobe. You feel free to do this if you need to. It's going to start right here, and you're going to take it like halfway down your face. So I'm just going to tap that Fenty bronzer matchsticks in like so and start adding some dimension back to my face. If you have a higher forehead or more forehead space like I do, feel free to take some of that contour up against your hairline and just trace your hairline like so, going back towards your forehead, just to create a little bit of a shadow up there as well. And this is really just part of shaping your face, bringing back some dimension and carving out the natural shadows that everybody has on their face. That's why we contour, to bring those shadows forward. And that's nice and light. I'm just going to keep it like that, but you can see I built a little contour right here. Now to my favorite part, which is blush. So I'm going to start with a cream or liquid blush first. This is the e.l.f. Camo blush in the shade Suave Mauve. And I'm just going to take a little dot of these. These are so pigmented that I'm just going to do this, because I'm also going to use a powder brush with my blush. I'm going to use a powder blush on top. So I'm going to take a little bit of this liquid camo blush, and I like to bring my blush up a little bit higher because I like drama, and I like for mine just to kind of drape up towards my temple like so. That's one cheek, and we're just going to do the same here, and I'm just tapping this in with a fluffy brush. If you have a more angular face and thinner jawline and you're a little thinner or more sharpened down at this point, you can go ahead and add your blush to the apples of your cheeks, and that will give you a little bit more dimension. I have fuller cheeks, so I like to have mine go up instead of down. So I like to blend my blush up like that. Right over that cream blush, I'm going to use a powder blush. This is also from e.l.f. This is one of their primer infused blushes, and this is in the shade Always Rosy. Taking the same powder blush and doing the same technique and just adding more color. More is more, less is a bore. So go ahead and add that blush, baby. Blush does some wonderful things for your makeup. It's really, really, really my favorite part of doing my makeup base routine. Then I take a little bit down my nose just for a little color. And if you want, you can put a little bit on your chin. Voila. My base is done, but I'm going to take a little bit of eyeshadow in the crease of my eye. This is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Mini Glam Palette. I've used this many, many times, as you can tell. I'm going to be taking this orange shade and a little bit of this brown on a fluffy blending brush, and I'm just going to use that to define my eye. I'm going to take it on the same. And that technique works for either if you have hidden lids or not, or smaller eyelids. Just taking a color and just defining your eyelid crease does wonders. And it really gives you a nice look. I'm going to take the same brown shade in this palette and a little bit of the black. And I'm just going to go around the corner of the waterline of my eye. And that is going to be my eyeliner. People think that as you get older, you should stop wearing eyeliner. I don't agree. I feel like a lot of rules that are made up for women over a certain age with your makeup are made up to make you feel ashamed or put these arbitrary rules on you. I don't agree. You see how that made my eye look bigger? So it doesn't make your eye look smaller to wear eyeliner. It's really just about the placement. I didn't bring it all the way here. I just kind of kept it at a quarter and winged it up a little bit. Don't let anybody tell you that we can't wear anything on our eyes, because it's false. And I'm going to take this cream shade and I'm going to pop that right on my lid for a little brightness. You can either do something metallic or you can do something a little bright on your lid, but it makes your eyes look look awake. With something nice and bright on your lid. Just like that. As you get older, you tend to lose a little definition in your lips, so using a lip liner is going to help with that. I'm going to use this shade Sweet Tea. This is from the e.l.f. Cream Glide Lip Liners. I meant to say feel free to add a lash or add mascara as your next step as well. I have been sneezing and having the windows open, so I am sorry for this tutorial. I cannot add a lash because my eyes have been watering like crazy. You just want to define your lips a little bit, and I just gave myself a little extra line right there, just a little bit of definition. My top lip is thinner, so I always like to line that a little bit fuller. But yes, as you get older, a lip liner is a great thing to incorporate. Not only does it hold your makeup or your lipstick in place, it helps to define it so your lipstick is not outside the lines. It helps it not bleed all over the place. And it just gives you some definition, which I like. Lipstick, I added the Revlon number 755 into the middle of my lips. You guys know I've used this on my last few videos. This is the Megan Thee Stallion lip combo. I love it. Number 755, the Revlon lipstick. And then I'm going to add a touch of gloss. This step is optional, but this is my base routine. This is how I do my makeup, and I love gloss on my lips after I do my lipstick. So I'm using the Morphe Drench Lip Glass, and this is in the shade Drip Coffee. It's a nice cool tone brown. Whoops. And voila, that's it. So you guys, this is the final look for the Flawless Base Makeup. I hope that this was helpful for my beauties who are over 40 and beyond. Like I said, we're busting the myths of what women over a certain age can and cannot do with their makeup. Makeup does not have a set of rules that you have to follow just because you're over a certain age. We're not buying that. We already know that we all have different skin types. I'm dry, you may be oily, combination or what have you, but I hope that this makeup look will work for you. I believe it's something that can help every type of skin tone, and especially if you're over 40, to help you still look elegant, pulled together, but also still modern with the look that you can easily achieve at home. So if you have made it this far in the video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button. And I hope that this tutorial was helpful for you, so make sure you leave me a comment down below as well. But until next time, I will see y'all back here very, very soon. Bye.